Hello, champions, and welcome to What's My Role podcast, episode 35. I'm Golden, your host. And with me today, I've got Mr. E.
Howdy.
Bean.
Hey, what's up?
GT Goat.
Hello.
VindowViper.
I'm not laughing, you're laughing.
And Donnix.
Hey.
This week, we'll be doing what we do every week, which is talk about our week in Warcraft. Enjoy the podcast. Alrighty, let's get into it. So we've got our week in Warcraft. Who wants to go first on what they did this last week?
I'll go.
Oh,
I did
also
some
anxious.
LFR.
Yeah.
Fucking getting my Warlock leveled up. Got a really nice staff dropped, and I rolled on it, and I didn't get it. And I looked at the guy that did get it, and he had a fucking 616 staff.
Oof.
And I'm like, fuck you, dude.
It's all about that mod,
Did you
baby.
Message him?
Yeah. No, so like I never do that, but this time I was like, you really don't fucking need it. Like,
What'd they
can I
say?
have it, please? They just didn't respond.
Of
They
course.
just
They
didn't
didn't speak
respond.
English.
Yeah, and I was out DPSing them with just shittier gear.
Mm,
You didn't need it. They needed it more than you.
that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
What a beautiful story.
Always.
Rolling on gear that you don't need is understood in every language, I think.
I feel like people
Yeah.
just hit need for no reason.
Absolutely.
Well,
100%.
They need
it's
that
what, like the
transmog,
third
man.
week? It's the third week now, so all the LFRs opening up. People want to get the transmog.
Yeah,
dope
that,
looking
that
or
could
something.
wait. Like that could wait. Let me
Does it
get
look-
some good gear
Nice
first.
or-
Does it look like
Mr.
every other
Bean.
staff out there?
Well, you should have rolled higher, bro.
I don't even know what it freaking looked like, man. I was just like, oh, that's much better than mine. 'Cause mine's like blue. I don't even know what eye level it is. It's just blue. This one was purple, and I was like, I want it.
My
All
condolences.
right, Bean. What about you, Bean?
Let me think for a second. I've been knocking out all my delves, so I get my like 3 slots in the vault. Ended up getting some tier hands. That's my only piece of tier I got so far, but I've got up to 608 eye level. I've been doing my crafting and stuff. I can refine bismuth all the way to tier 3 now. That's pretty
Sweet.
cool.
Nice.
Besides that, I've been leveling up and gearing up in Evoker because I had rolled a few weeks before War Within came out. I did like a little, spinner wheel thing to like, okay, this is my pug character. So I've been
Right.
it was a devastation Evoker, and gearing it's been fine and easy, but then actually trying to pug with it has been very time consuming. Not a lot of people
you're trying to-
accepting. Yeah.
You're trying to DPS. Did you see
I know.
that post some guy put on it was the subreddit about he's a shadow priest and he created a Mythic Plus group and he literally in his chat was like, I'm going to deny every single person that comes here because that's all you guys have been doing for me for the last week.
Yes, I did see that actually. He was very
Jesus.
upset.
What's the matter, buddy?
So yeah, I've been kind of like, damn, this fucking sucks. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that spinner wheel, just take all the DPS off of it, and I'm gonna spin it with tanks and healers. That way I can actually play the fucking game.
And
And
here's the problem.
There you go.
I mean, if DPS can't get runs like that, then like that's something that needs to get fixed, right?
mhm.
What can they do about that, right?
I don't know what you could really do about it, honestly. I know that there's groups like WoW Made Easy and stuff like that that kind of have not subreddits. They have like Discord servers set up to where people can kind of talk to each other and help each other fill up groups. I could try and do that, but I feel like it's just gonna be so much faster with tanking and healing, and that's kind of what I enjoy anyways. Is a little bit of the different stuff. I wouldn't mind to play DPS, but it'd probably be more fun if I was doing it with like you guys and had to get like, let's say Goat had to do tanking for a night and whoever had to
roles.
heal for a night. Things get a little bit weird,
Yeah. I also like DPSing with each other because I like calling each other out on charts. Like, oh man, you fucked up on that one, or oh, who got the most interrupts there, baby?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, what's nice about it is people getting to play those roles is I think you actually do become a much better DPS when you kind of see things from the perspective of the tank and the healer. Because the tank is, they're worrying about positioning. So they're like very focused on the mechanics, where a lot of DPS might just be like, gotta pump these numbers, gotta get this rotation going.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, I'm getting hit by fuck it. The healer will take care of me.
Yeah.
So if you're
Hopefully.
thinking about those things and then you go back to DPS, you should, in theory, have a little bit more perspective,
Yeah.
But that's
Right.
kind of been what I've been thinking about is might redo that spinny wheel and see what happens with it. I think
Definitely moving from DPS roles into the support roles will definitely, I think everyone should be doing that at some point, right? Because it definitely gives you a better understanding of the game when you have to sit in the other seat, right? That's awesome, man. Mr. Goat, what you got?
Just the stuff we did together. Really, the what was it, Delves raid? Been trying to work on fishing, getting it up.
yeah.
I see you did give me some kitty
What about
fish.
in the game?
Appreciate that for that food buff.
Huh?
The slum sharks.
Yeah, I got some slum sharks. That's really about it. Gear's gone up a hair. Still got to work on that, but that's due to drops.
What's your eye level at now? Do you know?
580-ish, right around there.
Gotta pump those numbers, bro.
Yeah, it'd be all right.
Those are rookie numbers. Now we'll get you spun up on that. Definitely need
Yeah.
to be taking care of the weekly stuff throughout the week. We'll help you find out all those locations though. It'll go a lot smoother. It won't take you too long. But yeah, so that's awesome. VindowViper.
I raided with some people last Friday.
Oh yeah.
And I carried them.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, I want to
as
hear about
a-
this epic story, and I think this involves all of us. So I'll go ahead. Is that all you got though? Not really
Yeah,
much on solo
I
stuff,
haven't had a
right?
chance to sit and play. I need to play more.
All good. Donnix, what you got?
So basically just busting out my weeklies, working on getting my item level up a little bit higher. I've been working on some side project alts to fill some roles if we need them. That's about it, other than the group stuff we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go now.
Yeah.
So for me, I just like most of you guys, I'm doing my weeklies. I do all that stuff. Doing my dells, trying to get better gear. I got so screwed on a chest piece and a helm. I finally just got champion upgraded from veteran on the chest piece, but still nothing good for champion gear when it comes to health from drops from delves. The only other thing really, I guess, oh well, last week on the reset, I did get a 610 tier set hands, which was a great upgrade for me, and it had the perfect secondary stat, so that was awesome.
Hell yeah.
We're recording on the 25th now, so we've got a whole nother reset. I got garbage for drops for Vault this week. Other than that, I've been working on my Unholy DK. I know we've talked about, kind of related to what we just talked about a minute ago, playing other roles, right? And letting people get experience doing other things. So I've spent some time leveling up my Unholy DK, and I love it, man. I haven't played it in a long time, but it's a total blast, and I think that'll be good when we want to spend some time giving other people opportunities to learn other roles, and the people who have been in the support positions kind of move on over to DPS and just get everybody some more experience doing different things, and so you don't get burned out, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
It's
been my
always
week.
always nice to try out new things.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
But,
did spend some
go
time
ahead.
leveling a shaman as well, didn't you? Like a lot of time.
Actually, yeah, that's true. I guess I was trying to suppress that.
Yeah.
So I was an idiot, and unlike you guys, I know most of you guys did the mist, the remix stuff in Pandaria and got a lot of alts leveled up. I wasn't really feeling that. I was also learning Mistweaver at the time, and so I was trying to dedicate my time to learning my class because I didn't really have much experience healing other than really low mythic keys. I think in Shadowlands or in BFA. Um, so I spent more of my time trying to learn Mistweaver, and so I didn't have any alts, and so I was like, well, let me get a shaman going because VindowViper here also plays Mistweaver, and I thought like, well, maybe we could consider another healer, get some more utility when we're raiding, things like that. I mean, I know it's not the end of the world. You can obviously, as long as you've got 2 healers, you can clear normal raiding just fine. Um, but it definitely causes a problem because they are not a 1-for-1, right? A lot of classes are not a 1-for-1. I know there's a lot of guides out there like, oh, set up your UI in this specific way, and that way all your characters are the same. Not every character's rotation, the timing, the abilities are the same. So that's kind of difficult to do. And it really kind of messed me up because I spent the whole day doing time walking dungeons and all that to get my shaman up to 80. And then we tried to do some mythic zeros, I think is what it was, just to get some practice in. And it absolutely just kind of screwed me up for like my rotation and what utility I
Yeah.
had that I didn't have anymore because I'd moved characters. But so I've kind of gone back on that. I'll take my time on having a different healer, just in case during heroic rating, maybe we hit a pinch point where a healer with a different utility would just absolutely own on that boss or something. But other than that, I think we're fine with the way that we're set up. So, but yeah, that was my week.
Hell yeah. But I
Yeah.
guess the reason you had spent so long trying to level up that shaman is because earlier in that week, you and me had both done the time walking Black Temple raid
Correct.
solo.
Yeah,
You
let's
just
talk
wanted to
about
get that
that.
extra gear.
Yeah.
So everyone else, after we had done our normal raiding on Friday night, everyone else was like, "Oh, well, we should do the Black Temple and help everybody that doesn't have gear get some more good gear." But since we had already done it, we're like, "Oh, I guess we're gonna have to play, some of our alts." But our buddy Golden did not have any alts, so he had to
Right.
basically scramble for the entire day trying to get that shaman up. And yeah,
Correct.
that's why he was trying to suppress that particular memory.
Not fun. But yeah, overall, it was a good experience, though. It sounds like Mr. E might have
Yeah,
some
you wanna
hard
go off,
feelings
King?
about that.
Yeah.
Wait.
No. I mean, it was a good punishment. It was a good punishment.
You
You know,
deserved that.
yeah.
Just for clarity here, the whole thing was that Bean and I had already done the Black Temple raid. Not that there was a consensus to wait on everybody, but overall, I will concede. It does make sense to do it together as a group because we have a tank and we have a healer. So it makes sense to get in that group together and knock it out. So
Yeah. So when we did play it, I actually played my evoker, my devastation
that's right.
evoker. So Mr. E was tanking with I'll let you talk about it. I'm sure you have something to say about it.
I don't even know, man. No, I had to tank with a druid. His name is Danny. You know who you are if you're listening. Probably not. I hate you.
Yeah, Danny was a good time.
Oh yeah. No,
Danny
yeah.
did
Oh
not
yeah, let's
mitigate.
get everybody killed. That's great. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, you need me to take that aggro? I don't think I'm going to. No.
Well, how many laughs did we have talking about Danny in the raid? I'm pretty sure a couple different people were singing "Oh Danny Boy" a few times
Yeah.
too.
And anytime that Mr. E was dead, I think I was like, oh, well, Danny's going to be dead in like 2 seconds now that he has to take aggro.
Overall, though, Black Temple went smoothly. Nothing really
Yeah.
noteworthy happened with it besides Danny.
No. Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Besides that,
Nerub-ar Palace, right? So this was our second week into raiding on normal in Nerub-ar Palace. And just start out, I will say, I feel like we've had a great experience with any of the people that have jumped in. And huge shout out to those individuals who have also chosen to join the guild and continue on with us in raiding with this season. It was great, and to hear people say like, I know we had one individual. He was like, "That's the most fun I've ever had in a group in raiding, I think, in a long time." And it just felt great to hear that people were enjoying themselves while hanging out with us and doing this content, despite us not being experts, right? So, but
Far
yeah,
from it, actually.
yeah, it definitely went smoother.
Yeah, they had the patience to go through like, oh man, we wiped, let's try something else, and we're all fucking around with it the whole time, which was awesome because they were
Yeah.
all like, cool, I'm here for it, instead of just, what's going on? These guys are idiots, and then leaving or something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what I wanted to do, but I'm also the one that was the idiot, so it's like,
And
No, it was great though. Every Friday night when we start these, we kind of, we get in the group finder and invite random people, and then we'll share our Discord and like, hey, we're communicating in the Discord. You don't have to talk if you don't want to, but just
not very well, but we
Yeah.
are communicating.
you will hear many things that you probably wish you didn't hear.
Likely
We're saying
unrelated to the
words.
game.
But yeah, so we invite people to. You can talk if you want. If you just want to listen, that's fine too. We've had a few individuals that just kind of jump in, but it has been pretty validating to hear several people saying, "Oh, you guys are great. You're funny, or we're having a good time. Like, I really like raiding with y'all." So that's been awesome.
They're just talking
Yeah.
about GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
He carries
Oh,
us.
I was going to stay quiet about it, but if you really want me to talk
Okay.
about it,
He's so humble. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Viper, too, for jumping in and being the other healer. Did we have a
Other
did we have a
healer. We had a
shaman or a
druid.
druid
Druid
Yes,
healer.
we had a druid healer
Yeah.
that we were splitting for the groups for each boss fight. And not to give them shit or anything, but maybe the eye level or just the familiarity with their healing rotation or the fights.
Wasn't
Maybe
there.
not fully there, but huge.
They stuck around.
Huge for
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess I could have made the call, or we could have made the call at one point to ask them to swap over to DPS, because I do know that was a pinch point for us on a few fights where our DPS really wasn't quite there. But we had the healing for sure, I think. But yeah, so we definitely could not have progressed without having Viper there helping me heal everybody. So that was great.
I
Yeah.
don't.
How many bosses
We did
does
5.
that raid have?
All but
Oh,
the last
there's-
3.
There's 8.
There's 8 total.
8. Yeah.
Yep.
5 out of 8 from a 1 out of 8 is a ridiculous improvement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I wonder if they
We only killed
because
the
they
first boss. The first week.
did any patch notes show them nerfing them a bit? Because usually after each week or like after a week or two, they start kind of simplifying it or cleaning them up.
I'm not sure if Brood Twister had been nerfed before or after we ran it. I think it was after.
Yeah.
Because I know Liquid had killed the Brood Twister at like 115 pools or something that day, I think.
Right.
So they did nerf that one a bit, and then I think since then some others have had nerfs. But the first 4 bosses, I want to say, I don't think they've done any tuning or
The
nerfing
one-
on.
Yeah.
The one on the bridge that has the I want to say pools of shit, but like I feel like all the bosses had some pools of shit. You had to get.
I know
Like,
you're
I feel like
talking
it was just-
about.
Russian
But
on.
we
Dude from
one
the
shot it.
dungeon.
on the
Yeah.
boss. We won
Yeah,
one shot
yeah,
that
yeah.
boss, and I was like, all right, like
Yeah, Russian on was easy, right?
Yes. 100%.
We did Olgrax in one kill this time, or one pull, I want to say.
Yeah.
Didn't we do Bloodbound in 2, or was it 3?
2. It was 2 for
2?
Bloodbound.
2.
Okay, so
Yeah.
2 pulls for Bloodbound. Sickran took us a few tries, maybe 4,
It did.
somewhere around there, 4 or 5.
It did.
Yeah.
Rashanan we got first try, and actually, didn't he get pulled before we were ready to start, and we still
I
did
think
it?
so.
We didn't even
Yeah.
like get to talk mechanics.
Yeah. That one went
Brood
great
Twister. Yeah, Brood Twister was gnarly though for us.
though. Man.
That's the big
That
one
was
guy,
the
right?
that was the difficulty with the ads and the DPS check there that we had.
Mhm.
but we got through it. But yeah, that was definitely a hard one. We were gonna call it, right? I think we were gonna call it on Root Twister
we
at
were
one
getting
point.
close to it. I think we had wiped like 6 times and got on the 7th, something along
Yeah.
those lines.
Yeah.
But we did have Balonzo jump in, and he fucking
He
carried
just
us
showed up out of
with the
nowhere.
DPS.
Just, yeah, it was
Hell
awesome.
yeah. He just
He's like,
crushed it.
guys, you obviously need my help. I'm coming.
He's like, yeah, like let's
Yeah.
hurry up and kill this boss already.
huge shout out to him for helping us out there.
Yeah.
And Nexus Princess Kaivessa, though, I think that was something on my end though too. I think I screwed up on strategy. I thought I had a good idea from things that I had seen briefly that other groups had done in dealing with those beams.
You were trying to say to go to like the outside? Isn't that what you were saying?
Yes, I was trying to say go to the outside, but it does appear that it's more beneficial to basically star off on the boss if you're being targeted, and all the other players fix yourself in between so you don't get hit by it.
Yeah.
And everybody continues to DPS because we're losing damage or healing based off of whoever is having to leave the mid to go handle that. So that was definitely something we'll make a big change to. I have a feeling we'll probably fly through that fight on this next one.
Yeah. And it's like a 7-minute timer on her before we all die.
It's 3 rotations of that skill, right?
Yes.
So the tech is definitely spread the portals around the edges, get in between all of them, and DPS her as much as you can. Because that's really the only thing that stopped us. I don't feel like the mechanics were particularly difficult. We just weren't doing as much damage as we needed.
Yeah. We'll definitely be
Have you guys killed her in LFR?
No, I have not.
Yes, I have.
Oh, it's so upsetting.
Well, it's like nobody does anything, and so they just drop it all over the place, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't suck as much.
Yeah.
No, when you beat her, she walks out. It's like, you don't think it was the real me, did you?
I always hate LFR because it like gives you this false sense of like, oh, this boss is easy, and then you go like actually fight the boss. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why I'm looking for heroic, all the extra stuff they add.
Yeah. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Speak up if you don't, but I feel like the mechanics, it's really just learning these basic mechanics, these normal mechanics on this raid, and they're not too difficult, and we're easily learning them, even with I don't know if everybody in both of our pug groups was actually in the Discord. I think quite a few were. And we were still clearing it, right? So
yeah,
I definitely see us progressing and going into heroic next, which that's definitely going to be a steep learning curve with the increase in punishment for not following things, and increase in mechanics, and probably decreased time to do them, right, depending on the boss. But yeah,
if we get our gear scores solid, like mine's absolutely trash, but if we get our gear scores solid, all we have to do is just kind of come up with a plan, even if it's not a good one. Like if I come up with something, or if Golden comes up with something, or Bean comes up with something where it's like, hey, we should make sure we're over here to the right or something. If we can all follow it, like if we all just, let's all put it in, stay on top of our symbols, and just, obviously I got to learn how counterclockwise and clockwise works, but
you're not the only one.
When you figure it out, let me know.
Yeah.
But following, that's all the raids are is there's definitely, like when you go to Mythics, it's all about getting your DPS rotation as perfect as possible and following the rules of the raid and keeping with your raid leader properly and all that other shit. But it's not even that important about being the best in your class in any way. It's just, if you can follow what raid leader's trying to get you set up to, then you guys will just murder bosses left and right.
The damage checks will be a lot more critical as we go up, though. That is true. And health pots and cookies, 100%. You're gonna want health pots and cookies.
They're like sockets and enchantments and stuff too. Like there's a lot of things we could do to improve and get better. But we've only done this for 2 nights so far, so we'll have raid night 3 coming up here in a second, and I think we might be able to finish the whole thing, hopefully, maybe.
Did we lock it, or do we
we did not lock it. which
We
is
did,
fine. We could
okay.
use the practice. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
by all
Well, the
means.
practice and the
gear.
loot.
The loot for sure for
What
for
is
guys
it's
needing to
what's
get gear
dropping
up.
605 or something like that, 615?
603
600.
or
600,
it's 600 even.
Yeah,
Yeah,
600.
It's champ
what's
gear
Mythic
though,
Zero
right? Is it
dropping?
champ?
It
Veteran.
is
I
champion.
think it's champion, yeah.
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 What's Mythic dropping? Mythic ones and stuff.
Mythic Zero's dropping veteran gear at
Mythic Zero's
593. It's such a
Yeah,
waste.
sucks.
it's not. Yeah.
We basically
The,
need to do what, like +4s to start getting a little bit of stuff that can be useful, but really +7 is kind
Correct.
of where we want to get our like
Yeah.
runed crests, and you know, I'm kind of to the point where I really am just ready to start getting hero gear, because
Yes.
I don't know, I might have 1 or 2 maybe vet pieces left, and of course they're
Yeah.
maxed up as much as I can.
Yeah. That's rune card crests are going to be a pinching point, I think, for a lot of people. And so you start progressing and doing heroic rating or Mythic Plus +4s and up. I know that we got a decent amount of them, or a few, through random stuff. I don't know if it was World Quests or through campaign or what have you, or random drops in caches, but that's definitely going to be the thing, because once you push gear to 606, I think, and if you try to go for the 610, it might be 610 and out. I think it's actually for 606 up to 610. It's going to require those rune carved crests, and so you're going to need to be pushing the higher content in Mythic Plus, or at least a +4 and heroic rating in order to get those. So that may be a point where we kind of plateau for a sec as we work our way up. But
Yep.
hot fixes did come out on the 24th yesterday, and I won't go over everything, but there were some stuff that happened to some classes. There were nerfs and there were buffs for some classes, and on top of that, they did do some nerfs to Mythic Plus, which I think, being in Donnix, since I think we haven't done any zeros with Goat. We did one with Goat.
We
but
did one with Goat.
yeah.
And
Long story short, for Siege of Borealis, the Kraken that you fight at the end, Vigoth, I think it is, the Terror Slam that knocks you back, they have nerfed that. It will no longer knock you back,
Oh,
which
knock
is
you out, baby.
awesome. So no more falling in the water from the Terror Slam, which is huge. They did leave a note on the hotfix, basically stating that these weren't done to make it easier. It was more of a quality of life thing, which does make sense. It is extremely obnoxious when you're fighting the Goth for that to be occurring, and it's not really a challenge with fighting the boss. It's just an annoyance of falling in water and trying to get out before a shark kills you. There was some stuff on Grim Batal as well involving the Warlocks, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. For those listening or watching, I'll definitely post the link to the hot fixes down in the description of the video, or on Spotify or the other podcast channels that we post to. But yeah, definitely some good stuff, good quality of life stuff, and some nerfs on some of the more obnoxious stuff you're having to deal with in Mythic Plus this season. So all good all around, I think.
Yeah, and I think some of it is some of the debuffs that the Warlocks are putting on you in Grim Batal.
Yeah. But
I know
there were
one.
some. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, there were some damage decreases as well as cast time increases.
Okay.
And percentage of damage going down. And then I know for the Warlocks, instead of being able to target, I think it was 2 players with certain casting abilities in Grim Batal, it's now down to 1. So it will just obviously just from that is going to make it easier to do, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say one thing that kind of sucks in Grim Batal for us is not really having a way to get rid of curses. I didn't realize that Mistweaver kind of had this like weakness where they can't really deal with curses.
Right.
So we definitely need to kind of be careful around that.
It's not really as bad as you think, though. to have to deal with. It's I would say it's a nicety. Maybe in higher keys that would be a problem, but the things that were killing us were more so that we were not focused on DPS during certain functions of the first boss,
Yeah,
where people
that's
were running
definitely
away
true.
but doing 0 damage to ads. And
Yeah.
that's definitely not how that's supposed to go, but we're learning it. I know you're saying Mythic Plus sucks. I know they wanted to make delves such a important thing for you to participate in, but I really think they shafted Mythic Plus with the risk versus reward, or the time that it takes to learn the dungeons for the
Yeah.
reward that you're getting is totally not there. I definitely think that rating on normal is easier than how many times you will wipe if you've never done these dungeons on mythic difficulty when you first step into them for the first time, and you're not like fully loaded up on all the info videos on, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're gonna hurt, and when you kill stuff and you get veteran gear for it, yeah, you can
Feels
jump into
bad.
normal rating. Yeah, it feels really bad. There's no sense of accomplishment for the reward.
Yeah, and it's like I want to spend more time in Mythic Zeros as we're learning it, but there is no like reward for your time, like you said. So
Yeah.
it does kind of suck. And then like you were saying, like they put so much effort into making delves this end game pillar, which they kind of are, but once you reach a certain point with them, you kind of don't need to do them anymore.
Yeah.
It's really the only reason you're going to be doing them is for the hero track in the Great Vault. But
100%. Yeah, 100%. Because once you start doing heroic rating, if you haven't already, I'm sure that's going to be rewarding hero gear, right? So delves will just be another way to have other hero tier options in your vault.
mhm.
So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the game plan for us is more so like we're having a blast with raids. Let's do raids. We have people who still need gear who are leveling up. Delves are going to be the simple answer to that, right? So I think Mythic is going to be more of a later stage. Is going to be more of a thing we jump back into. We'll still obviously go into Mythic Zeros when we have some time, but I think hitting it hard is going to come later in the season when we're not getting such lackluster rewards for completing it. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. It does suck though, because I do want to get in there and I do want to like learn these dungeons, and we've kind of spent time learning some of them. But what are you gonna do?
100%.
FYI, there's not very many healers that can remove curses. It's like
Oh, really?
druids and shaman.
Yeah.
Evoker has a 1 minute cooldown, cauterizing flame, but it's not very
Yes, I knew Evokers had it because I've
good.
been playing one.
Mages can remove curse, so if you have a mage, that's good. And then there's also a purification potion you can get that has a chance to remove up to 3 debuffs.
Oh,
So
I believe
might be worth-
warlocks can with their imp too.
yeah, remove.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying, after
Singe.
looking into it, it really isn't as big of a factor as I think we felt it was when we first started doing Grim Batal.
yeah,
It's really just doing the actual mechanics right, and
Yeah.
more so just how you deal with having the debuff in the meantime.
yeah. I think we were just getting our asses kicked, so we were like looking
100%.
for what is causing it. That's good to know, though, that there's other ways to deal with the curses. So very nice.
100%.
Did we want to do comments, or are we just gonna call it?
Read them.
Yeah, absolutely. Roll call time, man. Let's read the comments.
Okay. So on the Start Strong in WoW Essential Tips and Tricks video, we had another MMO mouse comment. That seems like a recurring comment.
Yeah.
Extra IX92 said, back in Wrath of the Lich King, I went from clicking to key binding because of the Naga. It changed how I play PC games. So worth it. Obviously, I agreed with that statement because that's kind of how it worked for me, where I started using the MMO mouse and then like the scales fell from my eyes. Like, oh. So yeah.
How much did you have to pay for that comment?
Okay.
$5. lay off them. $5 is nothing.
Okay, we had on the Unlocking the Earthen Race and Epic Mounts in WoW's War Within video, Bucky Bard T. Appreciate the video. Best one I found with all the info I wanted. So, hell yeah. Glad it could help.
Awesome.
Bucky clicked the first one he saw when he Googled.
Hey, he
I'm
liked
just
what he
kidding.
saw, okay? He liked what he saw.
Actually,
Yeah.
I watched the video. I really liked it. You had a lot of good points that were really clear and concise. So it was a good video.
Hell yeah. And then on the Dreams in the Dragon Isles Dragonflight Farewell Tribute video, Lucid9949 said, I kind of miss Dragonflight. Really lovely expansion. Much better than Shadowlands. I had good times in it. So yeah, definitely agree with that statement. Fuck Shadowlands.
Man, Shadowlands started cool. Like the idea of Shadowlands is cool. Except for
Thematically?
the Maw. Yeah, thematically it was so
yes.
cool. The
Thematically,
four
yes.
worlds, all that good shit. But then you had to get like, oh, we're gonna force you to be in the Maw for like 8 hours.
Gameplay wise,
like,
it was
you.
dog shit.
I mean, I also kind of don't like demystifying the afterlife, though. I feel like there's no reason to let's explain all this. There's vampires and there's robots. And
it was a cool way to have like a love letter. Like it was a cool way to say, hey, remember all those cool people you ran across earlier on in either the normal Warcraft lore or in WoW? And it was like, bam, here they are again. And this is gonna be fun shit with it. And I'll Castle Nathria was a fun raid. It was unique and interesting, and I enjoyed it. So,
like dancing in the ballroom.
That was a really unique, cool boss.
Yeah. Okay, and then on week 2, our stream from last week, we had Terry Frost commented, "Hi guys, Terry Frost here. It was great running with you guys. I just realized after watching this that my mic sounded awful." Yes, that is something that I also noticed once I started recording. I think I said that. Yeah, I did comment. I had to upgrade my mic after hearing it on a recording for the first time. But
all
yeah,
good,
we appreciate you, Terry Frost.
Get an MMO mic.
How's that work?
You no longer have to talk once you just start using your mind.
So Mr. E will use the MMO mic, but he won't use the MMO mouse. Okay.
Yeah. I see how it is. But that's our comments. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. That's all we have for this week. But again, we'll say it every week when we do this podcast. We raid on Friday. It'll be 10 Eastern Standard Time, or roughly about that time, right? Sometimes it takes a little longer. Got to get everybody in. But that's when we'll be on raiding. So if you're listening, you're watching, come join us. It's been a blast. And the people who have joined us seem to be having just a really good time. And they let us know that. So if you want to come do the raid on normal, learn the fights with us, and just have a laugh, just by all means, you're more than welcome.
And
For sure.
Shout out to the new guild members too from the raid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Picked up,
100%.
Well, the best part about raiding with us is Bean will pay your repair bill.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
Awesome.
And Golden
Yeah.
will get you
Yeah, there you go.
WoW tokens. So
Yeah.
Okay, we need to figure out what everybody else does in this fucking
He
group.
said top DPS every raid would get a WoW token. I remember it.
Oh, I see.
That's all we have for the podcast, everybody. Thanks for listening to our podcast, watching our podcast. Let us know what you did in your week of Warcraft, or if you've been experiencing the raid and what you think so far. And then we can talk about it in the next podcast next week. We'll see you later.
See you raid night.
later.
Raid night.